Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to do my my February wrap-up and what I read in the month of February. I had a goal of 2 books a day. I came very close to it, and this is how I did it. The first week I read 14 books for 4,982 pages. The second week, and we're talking from Friday to Friday, I read 4,295 pages for a total of 15 books. The third week, I read another 13 books for 5,438 pages. And then the last week of February, which was a short month, I read another 13 books for 4,118 pages. This all totals 55 books for 18,833 pages. Now, the average pages per day was 588. It's a little shy of 2 books a day, something like 1.8 or something along that line. My year-to-date pages read are 34,741 pages, and it's a total of 100 books. That's till February 28th. I am now, let's see, today's date is the 12th, and I have read exactly 112 books this year. But we're just talking about February here. Okay, I'm going to obviously use my notes because there's no way I remember all of these titles and when they're published and so forth and so on. The first book is Slightly South of Simple by Kristy, Woodson, Harvey, and that came out in 2017, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read another Kristy, Woodson, Harvey book, which was The Secret to Southern Charm, which came out in 2018, and I also gave that one 5 stars. Then there is Hearts of the Missing, and actually I have that book here. Hearts of the Missing, Horrible Glare by Carol Potenza. Carol Potenza. Now, unfortunately, as nice as this arc is, or looks, this was a DNF. I wasn't able to complete it. There were a lot of elements in the book that weren't amenable to me, so that was a DNF. So I rated that one 1 star. Then I read The Windmill Cafe by Poppy Blake, and I gave that one 3.5 stars. Hard to Kill by Christina Dodd, and the next 4 are by Christina Dodd. Hard to Kill I gave 4 stars, and that came out in 2018. And then there was Dead Girl Running, also by Christina Dodd, which also was another 2018 title. That one I gave 4.5 stars to. Then there is Families and Other Enemies by Christina Dodd, and this was out early this year in January, and I gave that 4 stars. And then I read What Doesn't Kill Her by Christina Dodd, which came out February 1st, and I gave that one 5 stars. So that series was a very, very good series. And I believe there are more books coming in that series. Then I read To Wed an Heiress by Ranney, and I gave that 5 stars, and that will be out on March 26th. Then I read another Kristy, Woodson, Harvey book, and this is The Southern Side of Paradise. And this is the end of a trilogy from a new author. This book won't be out until May 7th, but I loved it, and I hope that you'll kind of make a note of the series itself. And I gave this one 5 stars. Each book in the series got 5 stars. Then I read The Dare by Wyer, and this won't be out until April 25th, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read A Madness So Discreet by Mindy, McGinnis, and this is an old book. It came out in 2015, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read This Scot of Mine by Sophie Jordan, and that one will be out on the 26th, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole, and that was a 2018 title, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read The Promise by Katarina Diamond, and that one came out in September of 2018, but it was a DNF. I did not finish, and I gave it 1 star. Then I read Redemption of the Heart by Monique Boyce, and that one came out at the first of the year, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read A Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole, which came out in July of 2018, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then I read Her Pretty Bones by Carla Kovac, and that came out January 17th, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read The Au Pair by Emma Rao. This was a 2018 title, almost a year old, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read Extreme Honor by Piper J. Drake. This came out January 26th, and I gave it 4 stars. Then there's Finding Grace by K.L. Slater. This was a February title, just last month, and I gave it 4 stars. There's Ultimate Courage by Piper J. Drake, and this was a 2016 title. And I think Extreme Honor was an older title, and I think I just put the wrong date, and so please forgive me for that. I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then 96 Words for Love by Rachel Roy. This was a 2018 title, and I gave it 3.5 stars. There's Absolute Trust by Piper J. Drake, and that's another 2018 title, and I gave that one 4 stars. The Conspiracy by Kat Martin came out in January, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then there was Total Bravery by Piper J. Drake. As you can see, I believe I read 4 or 5 of her books in February. Let's see, Total Bravery came out in 2018, and I gave that one 4 stars. And then Fierce Justice by Piper J. Drake, and I believe, yes, I have that one. Fierce Justice, as I mentioned, by Piper J. Drake. Let's see, that came out February 26th, and what did I give this one? I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then I read A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole, which came out, will be out on April 30th. I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read something by Ellie Monago, a brand new author to me, and her name, the name of the book was Confidential. That one came out on March 5th, so it just came out, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read Queen Sugar by Natalie Bazile. This was an old title, but I read it part of Read So Lit month, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then I read Neighborly, also by Ellie Monago, and this was a 2018 title. I read it because I read Confidential, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. There's The Girl Who Got Away by Paula Milhouse, and that came out on February 18th, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then there is An Extraordinary Union, another Alyssa Cole title, and Extraordinary Union will be out on March 28th, and I gave that one 4 stars. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn is an old title that I had on my shelf, and it was part of a challenge, so I read that, and I gave that one 4 stars. The A-List by J.A. Jance, let's see, that came out, that will be out on April 2nd, so it's coming out very soon, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then there's Suddenly Single by Carol Wyer, which will be out April 8th, and I gave that one 5 stars. We also have The Last Second by Catherine Coulter. This will be out on the 26th, so in a couple of weeks. This was a great book. It got 5 stars from me, and it's one of the top reads for this year. Then there's The Night Window by Dean Koontz, and this won't be out until May 14th. Excellent book, and I gave it 5 stars. Then I read City of the Lost by Kelly Armstrong, and I believe, I don't know if I had that in print. I'm not sure, but no, I don't, because that came out in 2016. I gave that 5 stars. And I read several Kelly Armstrong books, but they're not in order. The next book I read was The Jackals by William W. Johnstone and J.A. Johnstone. This was a January 29th title, and I gave it 4 stars. Then I read Lying Next to Me by Greg Olson. This will be out May 21st, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read A Hope Divided by Alyssa Cole. This came out in 2017, and it received 4 stars from me. Then there's Rebel by Beverly Jenkins, and this will be out May 28th, and I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read Bake Sale Murder by Leslie Meyer, an old title, but I'm reading the whole series, so this was book 12 or 13. And I gave that one 3 stars. Ceremony and Death, I'm also trying to read that series, at least a book a month, and that's by J.D. Robb, 2003 title, which I gave 4 stars to. Then there's An Unconditional Freedom by Alyssa Cole, and this came out on February 26th, recently, which received 5 stars. Then there is A Darkness Absolute, another Kelly Armstrong title, and this one came out in 2017, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then there's Can't Escape Love, another Alyssa Cole title, and this will be out in about a week on the 19th of March, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. Then I read The Christmas Cowboy Hero by Donna Grant, which came out in 2017, and I gave that one 5 stars. Then there is another print book I have, The Story of Us by Tara Civic. And this came out in 2018, and I gave that one 4 stars. I read another Donna Grant book, Cowboy Cross My Heart, which came out in 2018, and I gave that one 4 stars. And then her third title that I read is by, again, Donna Grant, and that's My Favorite Cowboy. That came out February 26th, and I gave it 5 stars. Then there is This Fallen Prey by Kelly Armstrong, and I gave that one, I gave that one 4 stars, and it came out in 2018. Then we have The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls, and this was by Anissa Gray. Came out February 2019, this year, and I gave it 4 stars. And last but not least is Watchmen in the Woods by Kelly Armstrong. A bad glare, I apologize for that. And this is why I read all of those other Kelly Armstrong books, was to get ready for this book. This was just released on February 26th, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. Now, just a couple of notes for me to mention. Every single book, every book that I have reviewed is on Goodreads. From 1 to 55, you'll find all my reviews there. As far as any books that are not yet released, they will be, those reviews will be, they are scheduled to be posted on my blog on the day of release. So whatever the release date is, if it's a May 25th title, that's the day it will appear on my blog. If it's a June title, it won't show up until June, and so forth and so on. But if you're interested, in the description box below, I'm going to list every single book here, and I'm not going to link them because that would take far too much time. But look up the name in the author, and feel free to go to my Goodreads page, which is linked in my description, and you can read my written reviews. Or if you watch my Friday Reads videos, you've gotten reviews of just about everything that I've talked about. And I want to mention too, did you notice that almost everything is 4, 4.5, 5 stars, with only a couple of 1 stars and maybe a 3 and a 3.5 star? I think I can give you maybe 4 reasons. The first reason is you saw a lot of repeated names: Kristy, Woodson, Harvey, Alyssa Cole, Christina, Dodd, Papa J. Drake, Kelly Armstrong. I read series. I'm a series person, so if I get a book for review, I will no doubt go to my library, Amazon, Hoopla, you name it, and get the previous books in the series and read the entire series. And if I like the first book in the series and I tend to read these books in quick succession, then I'm pretty bound to like most of what I read. Secondly, I get enabled by my reviewer friends, and if they're reading a good book and they tell me it's a good book and I read it, a lot of times I agree with them. Another thing is I get books that are recommended by authors because either I have already read a book by them or I have reviewed for their publisher, so a lot of those books are very good. And lastly, when I select books from NetGalley, Edelweiss, First to Read, Shelf Awareness Pro, Forever, Kensington, you name it, when I request these books, I request books in the genres that I enjoy reading. There are a couple of genres that I read differently that I don't usually read, like the Mindy McGinnis title but that ended up getting a great rating from me. But generally, I choose books in the genre that I enjoy. So when you read my blog or you watch my channel, you are going to see higher rated books. I know that if I, say, for example, were to dive into young adult fantasy or paranormal or genres that I don't read, like science fiction, I probably wouldn't do so good with the ratings because I'm not in that mindset to read those books. So don't be thinking that I'm just going to go ahead and give everything 4 or 5 stars just because I did this month or in the month of February. It just happened to be that I chose well, and with the aid of others, I was able to choose well and come up with the ratings that I did. So that's about it. I've gone on too long, but I want to thank you for your time, and I will be back with, I think my next video will either be my haul video, which I might split up in 2 because I've got about 60 books again. So I've got a couple of haul videos to do and my next Friday Reads video to do, which I think I have 2 of those to do by now. So I will be back soon. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.